When we begin devotional service, when we begin this process of Krishna consciousness, we may have a lot of questions. Usually we have a lot of questions, a lot of doubts. And in the beginning, you see, okay, we are asked to chant Hare Krishna. Happy to do that. Then we have to follow the rules and regulations. We do that also. Then the question arises, of all the processes in devotional service, which is most important and which will help us to grow very fast spiritually? So in our scripture, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj, Bhakta Prahlad, he has elaborated or listed out 9 processes of devotional service, 9 processes of Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness, which are very important. Can we list out what are the 9 he gives? Shravanam, hearing, Kirtanam, chanting, Vishnu Smaranam, which is remembering the Lord, Pada Sevanam, serving the lotus feet, Archanam, Vandanam, offering prayers, offering worship, and then Sakhyam, friendship, Dasyam, servantal, and Atmanivedanam, full surrender. And again Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further elaborating on these 9, he has said of these 5 activities are very important. 5 most potent forms. And he said if you follow these 5 forms of devotion service, we can make very rapid advancement. So today's video we're going to show you, actually been selected with that in mind. With following these 5 processes, we find that we also make advancement very quickly, and also we become effective in sharing or spreading Krishna consciousness to others, giving the knowledge to others. Because Krishna says in the Gita, one who shares the knowledge of others, he is very dear to me. So we want to become dear to Krishna, isn't it? All of us want to be dear to Krishna. And so the easiest way to become dear to Krishna is to spread this knowledge, to share this knowledge with others. And we can do that effectively if we ourselves are Krishna conscious. So this today's videos, we got actually 3 clippings. Let's see how much time permits. So this one is called How We Can Absorb Ourselves in Devotional Service. This is by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. He is a very senior disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami. He gives wonderful lectures, and this is one of them. So let's see if the sound is good. I think it should be alright.
Question from Manoj Prabhu. How can we increase our absorption while doing our various devotional activities like hearing, chanting or other services? Answer. Absorption comes by 2 ways. One is our endeavor and the other is Krishna's grace. Now, by Krishna's grace when absorption comes, that means we get a taste, we get a consummation, we get consumed in that activity in such a way that we forget everything else. This may happen sometimes to us in kirtans when the kirtans become very ecstatic. Occasionally it may happen in japa. Sometimes it may happen even while studying, when we find some point or when we hear some class and we find some particular statement very absorbing, transporting us to a different world itself. So these sort of occasions are Krishna's mercy, and they are very fulfilling, very exciting, and they give us a glimpse of what lies ahead for us on the spiritual path as we keep becoming more purified and more attracted to Krishna. However, these will be occasional. So from our point of view, the absorption will have to come by contemplation and determination. So I've written an article about how determination comes by deliberation, and contemplation and deliberation are the same thing essentially. So when we deliberate, contemplate on why I am doing what I am doing, then we understand its importance. At an intellectual level we understand it, but to remember that importance at that particular time when we are doing those activities, that is not easy. So therefore it is good if before we start doing something important, we contemplate, why am I doing this? Sometimes we can remember some verses like Shikshashtam Cheto Darpanam Arjunam before we chant, or Shunathaman Sakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam. That by hearing itself is purifying, and it removes the Krishna personally becomes pleased and removes the impurities from our heart when we hear. So chanting the hymns cleanses the heart. So like this, we can have Sanskrit verses or Bengali verses also from Bhaktivinoda Thakur songs, or we can have our own sutra-like statements, which in a short, concise way remind us of the importance of what we are doing. So when we do this kind of contemplation before we start an activity, that gives us an impetus to absorb ourselves. And in general, absorption comes, so first is deliberation, and then after that, when you're doing the activity also, the mind will go here and there in different directions. So at that time you need determination to bring it back. And generally determination comes when we fall back to the contemplation. To get strength for the determination, we need to go back to the contemplation and remember why we are doing it. And then that gives us the impetus to actually go deep into that activity and do it with determination. And then when we are determined, then we can stay fixed and absorbed in that activity. Another way for absorption is by connection. Connection means whenever we are hearing something or doing something, we connect it with other things. We are reading a book, we connect it with some kind of similar hearing, either on similar subjects or the same book, which we have done earlier, and see how the subjects are connected. So actually, essentially absorption means spontaneous connection happens. But here, when spontaneous connection is not happening, we do conscientious connection. We systematically, step by step, try to connect ourselves with Krishna. And when we keep doing things like this, over a period of time, our absorption will become more deep and more habitual. And gradually, that absorption will go beyond the temporary fetters of matter and become connected with Krishna. So, by contemplation or deliberation and by determination, and determination involves connection, we can increase our absorption. And also very important is introspection. That means after we do an activity, we look back and think, where did I get distracted? Where was I absorbed? And then by that we learn. And in general, it is not realistic to expect that we will be equally absorbed in everything that we do. Some of us may have greater taste for kirtan, some of us may have greater taste for philosophy, some of us may have a greater taste for duty worship. So like that we may have different services that we have taste for. So in the initial stages, if we try to force ourselves to absorb ourselves very deeply in everything, that mental effort can be exhausting. We certainly need to try to absorb ourselves at a basic level, but we should also be observing which is the activity within devotional service that absorbs me the most. So that will depend on our spiritual inclinations as well as the psychophysical nature. And when we find that activity, we should do that activity more and more. That by doing such an activity more and more, we will get a taste for absorption in Krishna. That absorption may not be entirely spiritual. If I like philosophy and I absorb myself in philosophy, I am not necessarily only thinking of Krishna. So the absorption is a combination of intellectual and spiritual. But anyway, I am connected with Krishna. I am getting a taste of absorption with Krishna, even that absorption is not pure. But by that taste of absorption in Krishna, I will become purified, and then absorption in Krishna in other activities will also become possible. So sometimes some devotees have the mistaken notion that the thing which I like to do, I shouldn't do. No. If we like to do something in devotional service, that is a blessing. And we should do it more and more. Of course, not at the expense of other prescribed activities. I can't say that because I like philosophy, I'll just read books and I will not chant. No, chanting is important, but along with that, whatever we like, when we absorb ourselves in that, then slowly, by that connection with Krishna, we become purified. And then the absorption in other activities will also manifest. So in this way, sometimes by Krishna's mercy, when we get glimpses of great absorption, other times, by our own conscientious efforts, we can absorb ourselves in Krishna by doing various services. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Krishna.
Okay. So that was a short snippet. So what is the realization from this? How do we absorb ourselves in Krishna's devotion service? Any thoughts on that video?
Got an interest,
Yep.
go along with interest and use that in devotional service.
Yes. We have certain aspect of devotion service we like. What aspect of devotion service do you like?
I like to service,
Service, yes. Which type is
any physical service.
any physical service? Very nice. Very good. Prabhuji, for you?
Anything, Babu, like a service and like thinking about Krishna.
Okay.
Or reading Bhagavatam.
Reading Bhagavatam. Yeah. Mataji?
I like to read.
Like to read. Okay. Would you like to share something?
Physical service, though.
Physical service.
Yeah, physical.
Practical devotions.
But, yeah.
Jai Mataji?
Like what we said, physical as well as anywhere I can help to ensure that all the services are going on. Yeah.
Managing. Right. Thank you. So now the Ananglatumati, I don't have to ask you what you like. You are holding the girl in your hand. So
I like reading Bhagavatam.
you like reading Bhagavatam as well. So of course, if we like one part of the devotion service, our tendency is to go for that and spend more time on that, and we will neglect our basic duties. Just like when we were small children, we were having the festival, big feast will be there. Our tendency is to go for the sweet rice first. Children want to eat the rasgulla first, gulab jamun first. But no, that will come last. No, we want it first. Similarly, in devotion service, we are just discussing, Kalyan, how to absorb in devotion service in bhakti, because we get distracted, our mind get distracted, we have so many other thoughts. And so today's discussion in the video was how to absorb ourselves. So we started off by asking each other what aspect of devotion service we like. Somebody said doing service, somebody said doing reading Bhagavatam. Everyone have different aspects of bhakti that they like. So which aspect appeals to you?
Service,
Anything.
praying appeals to me,
Praying.
sitting quietly and
Yeah.
calmly it appeals to me. And because I find that leads on to other things.
Sure.
But that
Of
is,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. So everyone has different aspects. So somebody is a pujari, they like to do seva, they like to do archanam. So somebody likes to do offering prayers, vandanam. These are our 9 aspects of bhakti we just discussed in the beginning. Prahlad Maharaj talks about it, Bhakta Prahlad. He talks about that. So now the question is, if I like to do certain things and I spend all my time in that, but I am not able to spend time in things I am meant to do, what is the foundational activities? So there are so many activities. What is the foundational activity which we all must do? Chanting. Isn't it? Now the question is, why can't I just read Bhagavatam or do prayers or do deity worship or arrange festivals? Why do I have to chant? I don't really like chanting. If I just do that, will that be enough? Jai Shishi Gonitai Ki Jai. So can I just do what I like to do and not do things which I have to do? Like for example, chanting, I may not be so inclined to chant. So what is the answer Chaitanya Prabhu gave?
There's some prescribed processes.
Prescribed processes, yes. Yeah. Any other answers? You understood my question, right?
Why we have to do chanting?
Yeah, we have to find time to chant because I like to do certain like deity worship or I like to do festivals, I like to make garlands. I like to do that all the time, but I don't feel like chanting sometimes. So, but we know our Shastra says, our Acharyas have taught that chanting is the foundation.
Yeah.
Nama Sankirtan is the Yuga Dharma. For this Yuga, we have to do this. We can't. If you want to progress, that is very important.
That's what I thought I was saying in the sense. That's what has been prescribed in terms of
Correct.
you do that and It's
That's
like
what
learning ABC before learning the
exactly.
words.
But you see, the beauty of devotional service is that if we do our service nicely, then we will develop a taste for chanting. You observed that? If I do my service nicely, I will feel inclined to chant. I will feel inspired to chant. And if we chant nicely, our service will also become very nice. The quality of a service will be good. Whatever you are trying to do. So what we are relishing now in bhakti, like practical service or reading Bhagavatam, becomes more relishable when you chant nicely. So that's why it goes hand in hand. So when you read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, surrender to me. Mam ekam sharanam raja. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashrita. Satatam kirtayanto mam. So Krishna is stressing on chanting. So Krishna is stressing on chanting, then we engage in devotional service and chanting side by side, then both go together. That's why there are two margas, two paths. One is called Bhagavat Marg Vidhi and other is called Pancharatrik Vidhi. Our Acharya has given us two processes in Bhakti. That's another classification. Bhagavat Vidhi refers to chanting Hare Krishna, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, that is all Bhagavat Vidhi. And Pancharatrik Vidhi refers to deity worship, festivals, organizing festivals, Rath Yatras, Abhishek, you have Janmashtami coming up, Balram Purnima, best festivals. Or organizing festivals, Narsimha Chaturdasi, Narsimha Jayanti. Organizing festivals and deity worship is all related to Pancharatrik Vidhi. Doing yagyas and homas, that's all Pancharatrik Vidhi. So of the two, Bhagavad Vidhi is the most important, because that's the foundation. Like you said, you have to do ABC first before you can do other things. So Bhagavad Vidhi is the ABC. Pancharatrik Vidhi comes after you do Bhagavad Vidhi. But even when you start Pancharatrik Vidhi, we don't give up the Bhagavad Vidhi. Bhagavad Vidhi is ABC, it's also XYZ. To use that analogy. That's why that's very important. So therefore in this point we learned that, yes, we may have certain devotional service we like, we should do that also. Should not always be things we don't like to do, but at the same time our duty is to chant Hare Krishna. One last question. Why do we chant Hare Krishna?
The purpose of chanting Hare Krishna is to plead to the Lord, to engage us in devotional service.
It's a prayer to the Lord. It's a very pure, unselfish prayer, not asking for anything, but asking for seva. How can I serve you? Rather than what can you do for me? What can I do? Very good. Any other answers? Why do you chant Hare Krishna? Basic question. What do you like? Yeah?
To seek the attention of Krishna.
To get attention of Krishna, yes, definitely. We're calling out to him and chant his name first.
For the happiness.
For happiness, to be happy, yes. Chant and be happy, of course.
So as you said, for by chanting, the other things that you do becomes more effective and
Yes.
more pleasant.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
To purify yourself.
To purify ourselves, yes. Haji?
That is a mantra for the Kali Yuga.
That's the Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga, yes. Sudai Mataji?
Develop our love for Krishna,
All of love for Krishna.
chanting his name.
Yes. One time Prabhupada asked this question to devotees, and like this devotees gave various answers. And actually two different occasions I can think of. One occasion he said, yes, these are all very good answers. Then finally one devotee said, I chant Hare Krishna because I like to chant. No, but that's the best answer. It's not very philosophically deep, but he just said, I like to chant. It's nice, I feel good. That's one way. But another time he was discussing the same question, why do you chant Hare Krishna? Suddenly last question, Prabhupada. Then devotees asked, again they discussed various reasons like this. Then one devotee said, I chant Hare Krishna because Srila Prabhupada, you told us to do that. To follow your instructions. Guru has given instruction, I should do that. That is the most important reason I should chant Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada said, yes, that's right. Because what do we know what's right and wrong? Right? What mantra do we know? Which mantra, this mantra, that mantra? We don't know anything. But we are doing it on the order of Guru. That's why the mantra has got potency, the power. If we chant the same mantra without the order of Guru, it will not have the same effect. As much as we come to the blessing. That's why Chaitanya Charan Prabhu said two things. To be successful, there are 2 points. One is our endeavor, and the second is the blessings of Guru and Krishna. Without blessing, you can't be successful. That's why In our Vedic culture, isn't it? We always pray to our mother and father, Matradeva Bhava, Pitrudeva Bhava, Acharya Deva Bhava, Atiti Deva Bhava. We always pray and we ask for blessings. Then we go and make the effort. Only effort is not going to work. Only simply praying and being lazy is not going to help us. God helps those who help themselves. So we have this combination. So that's what we learned from this very important, nice video, that how to absorb in devotional service. You do the core activities, and we at the same time we make sure that we also take part in activities that are pleasing to the heart. At the same time, we don't neglect our duties. Shall I do the third one?
Hare Krishna. Question: are the 9 limbs of devotional service from Shravanam to Atma Nivedanam?
Can you just pause it there?
Yeah, I did.
Change that.
So reduce the volume here.
Yeah. Reduce it there. Okay. We'll start it now.
Little bit echoing, no?
Yeah.
Let's try this.
Hare Krishna. Question: are the 9 limbs of devotional service from Shravanam to Atma Nivedanam progressive, with each successive one being at a level higher than the previous one? Answer: no. They are 5. There are 9 distinct limbs of devotional service, and all of them are extraordinarily potent, and there are examples of devotees having attained perfection just by doing one limb of devotional service. So it is not that the later ones are higher than the previous ones, because that way if we see that earlier we have Pada Sevana, which is being done by Lakshmi Devi, and then which is exemplified by Lakshmi Devi, and then we have Dasya, which comes later, which is exemplified by Hanuman. Now Lakshmi Devi is not different from Sita Devi, and Hanuman cannot be considered to be higher than Sita Devi. Sita is the consort of the Lord. So that's why we cannot consider this progressive. And further, if we see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in chapter 6 of the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, that among the various limbs of devotional service, which is the most potent? So he said it is Kirtana. So Kirtana of course correlates with the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga, which is Harinam Sankirtan. And of course from another perspective we can say that the essence of all rules is remembering Krishna. So we could say Smaranam is the most important. But the Smaranam here refers to a particular way of serving Krishna, which is by internal meditation. Without, Prahlad Maharaj did not explicitly offer prayers or do worship of Krishna, because he was in a hostile territory. He did not have, when he was in Hiranyakashipu's kingdom, he was not having any explicit facilities for rendering devotional service. So his primary form of devotional service was inner remembrance. So that inner remembrance is meant to permeate all the forms of devotional service. Whether it is Shravanam or Kirtanam, we hear, we speak, we do deity worship, we offer prayers, all of them are going to be permeated through remembrance. So from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's verdict, we understand that the Kirtanam is the most important form of devotion, most potent form of devotional service, and that comes second. So it's not that these are progressive, they are all parallel, we could say, they are all parallel tracks. It's not a staircase that you go one above the other, they are all parallel tracks, and by following any of these tracks in a diligent, wholehearted way, we can attain life's perfection, we can attain love for Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Question.
Okay. That was a short one. So what was the main point in this one? The question was?
The process of bhakti is progressive.
Yeah. The answer was
All are equally important.
all equally important. Thank you. And each one is exemplified by a particular devotee. Like is there Padasevanam, Lakshmi is doing Padasevanam. Dasyam is Hanumanji is Dasyam. And Sakyam, friendship, is Arjuna. So each one is excelling in their own. But at the same time, in the Nectar of Devotion, we read that there is a progression of rasa. Rasa means relationship, primary relationship with Krishna. And there are 5. What are the 5? Shantarasa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So one can relate to Krishna in any one of these 5. Rasa means relationship. Rasa. So, and we have this rasa in the material world also. We have a relationship with our children, we have a relationship with our spouse, a relationship with our boss, relationship with neighbors, with brothers, with our own parents. We have a relationship with everybody. These rasas are there. But the perfection of these rasas are when that relationship is with Krishna. And originally, all of us, Jivara Swarupoe, Krishna Nitya Das. We are eternally servant of Krishna. So all of us have an original relationship with Krishna, and that is called Swarupa. That is called as Swarupa. But we have forgotten that and come to the material world. And in the material world, we have developed so many temporary relationships. Temporary relationships, right? These are all temporary. Brother, sister, father, mother, all temporary. So these temporary relationships are called ahankara, false ego. And that Swarupa is our real ego. And real ego means our relationship with Krishna. And that has been divided into 5 categories. So all of these are important. All of these are with Krishna, they are absolute. But in them also there is a progression in terms of intimacy. Like take the example of Shantarasa. Shantarasa means neutral. In that rasa, the relationship is of awe and reverence, respect. Like I studied in a convent school, so they taught me, school motto was, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So you see God out of fear. Or out of fear of God, you go on the right path. Not because you want to, not because you like to. Out of fear of God, oh my God, I'll get punished if I don't. I go to hell, I'll get punished. Out of fear of the Lord. So that is also one relationship. But that relationship is called neutrality, Shantarasa, because there is no love in that. Love is very limited. It's more out of fear and respect. Formal, very formal relationship. Like at work, your relationship with the boss, it's very formal, not intimate. Intimacy is very less. But then more intimate than Shantarasa is, what is the next step up? Is Dasya. One is a servant of the Lord. In a servant mood, what happens? Now the devotee is much closer to the Lord. He is doing personal service to the Lord. In Shantarasa, there is not that much personal service, like the grass on the ground. They are sheltering Krishna, giving some support to Krishna, but they are not so intimate. But now Dasya becomes more intimate. And we have, Mataji mentioned example of Hanumanji. Hanumanji is very, very close to the Lord. But even he has some reservations. Like you will not find Hanuman sitting on the shoulder of Ram or playing jokes with him, making fun of him. No, very respectful. So there is some reservation there also. But less reserved than the grass on the street or Shantarasa. More intimate, but less still reserved. So one step up above that is Sakhyarasa, where the devotee feels I'm equal to Krishna. He is my friend. I don't have to respect him. I can play jokes with him, I can make fun of him, I can... The Gopas, the coward boys, they are playing with Krishna as if they are friends. They sometimes they speak, they scold him, they shout at him. The mother Yashoda will be calling, Beta, come Krishna, come, Kana, come, lunchtime, you have to go for prasad. Then the friends will say, we are in the middle of the game, Krishna, if you go now, we will not play with you anymore. And Krishna is scared, but should I choose? Mommy is shouting at me, friends are shouting, where should I go? And he then says with the boys, okay, I'll play with you, let Mama shout. She'll get angry, then she'll be alright afterwards. So like that, Krishna also has this relationship with the friends, where he's more obliged to their friendship, their love. But all of these are based on love. That is a common factor. Then more intimate than Sakhya, friendship is Vatsalya, parenthood. Now Yashoda, she brings the lathi. She can hit Krishna. Now who will say, have you read any scripture in the world that says that you can hit God? It is unheard of. But in love, not out of anger or frustration. It's out of pure love. Yashoda loves Krishna so much, she thinks if he doesn't eat on time, his health will not be good, he'll become very weak. Yashoda is thinking like that of Krishna. Not realizing he's supplying food for everybody while he go hungry. He's the last person to go hungry. But she is thinking out of love, motherly love. Vatsalya rasa. So Vatsalya is more intimate than friendship because now she can chastise Krishna, say, you are naughty boy, don't steal butter, don't do this, take care of your health. She can actually chastise Krishna. She takes a superior position to Krishna. Nanda Maharaj also, he can chastise Krishna. So that gets more intimate. And then the more intimate than that is Madhurya Rasa. In Madhurya Rasa, that is a conjugal relationship. And then there are two categories in that, again two subcategories. One is called Swakiya, other is called Parakiya. Swakiya means when a relationship of conjugal relationship where Krishna is married to the queens of Vrindavan. Like Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati. Krishna is actually married to them. He is their husband. But it's called Swakiya. Parakiya means where apparently he is not married to them. Though strictly speaking, all the gopis are married to Krishna. But in the Leela, their gopis are married to somebody else and they're coming and Krishna is their lover. But doesn't mean Krishna's character is bad or that he is loose character. No. They are already eternally married to Krishna. But to make that Madhurya Rasa more intense, in the Leela, deliberately they are married to somebody else, but actually they are married to Krishna only. So in that relationship, Parakiya Rasa, that's called Parakiya. Para means outsider, somebody else. Parakiya Rasa. Swakiya and Parakiya. So that is the most intimate of all relationships because there the gopis have to give up all social consideration, family consideration and come to Krishna, breaking all barriers. So that is the most intense of all relationships because there the love is very, very strong. So like this we have different relationships with Krishna that's called Sambandha Gyan. Understanding our original relationship is called Sambandha Gyan and that original relationship is called Swarupa. Swarupa means our original identity. So we have given up a Swarupa and come to the material world and here we got Ahankar, false identity. I am an IT software engineer, I am an employee of Westpac. These are all temporary designations. I am a man, I am a woman, I am rich, I am poor, I am a Kiwi passport holder, I am Australian passport. So these are all temporary designations, that's called Ahankara, false identity. Real identity is Swarupa. So ego is not a bad word. I thought you used to think ego is a bad word. No, false ego, Ahankara is bad because that binds us to material world and it's temporary relationship. We think that is all in all, but actually it's not. Whereas the real relationship is called Swarupa, which is to restore the relationship back to Krishna. And that easily happens through process of bhakti. That's where the Navavidha Bhakti given by Prahlad Maharaj comes into picture. That very easily uncovers that lost relationship. That lost relationship is reunited by this process. So how much time do we have and how long is this video? We have to thank.
The last one, the first one, you can actually start at around 13th minute.
13th minute, okay.
Yeah, and probably go for another 15, 20 minutes.
This is a lecture given by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami. He is one of our spiritual masters in ISKCON.
To the hotel proprietor for being extra courteous, and Sanatana Goswami was experienced in diplomacy. So when someone's extra courteous to you, nobody gets suspicious. Someone's very nice, flattering you, you look very handsome, you get suspicious. This person will be wanting something. So Sanatana was very suspicious. This man is being so nice to me. He answers, are you carrying any wealth with you? And hesitatingly he answered, yes, 7 gold coins. Sanatana said, Why carry debt with you? If you have money, thieves rob. Thieves don't rob like a poor man. So Sanatana took the money and gave it to the hotel keeper, and finally, with the help of the hotel keeper, and he paid the money to the hotel keeper, hotel proprietor. He was very embarrassed. He said, I'm going to kill you and take this. But now that you brought it to me, I feel very embarrassed. Sanatana said, if you don't take it, somebody else will give me and take it. So you take it. So Sanatana then proceeded to Varanasi. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying in the house of a devotee called Chandrasekhar. Chandrasekhar materially had taken his birth in a family that's considered to be low caste in India. But he was a great devotee of the Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not hesitate. He stayed in his house. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established that it doesn't matter whether you take birth in a high caste or low caste. What matters is you're serving the Lord or not. You're serving the Lord and you're high class. And otherwise you're low class. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave very valuable instructions to Sanatana Goswami on the process of devotional service. He gave many, many points, but then he summarized them into 5 main points. And he said, these are the 5 limbs of devotional service. I would say that you can translate. I just say you don't translate. If somebody doesn't understand English, I said just it in the back. So, in the case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed as follows. You want to read up this? Respond up to me. Sadhu Sangha,
Sadhu Sangha,
Nama Kirtan,
Nama Kirtan,
Bhagavad Shravana,
Bhagavad Shravana,
Mathura Vasa,
Mathura Vasa,
Srimurti Sadaya Sevana,
Srimurti Sadaya Sevana,
Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravana, Mathura Vasa, Srimurti Sadaya Sevana. One should associate with devotees, chant the holy name of the Lord, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, recite at Mathura or Montreal, and worship the deity with faith and veneration. Will you repeat after me? One should associate with devotees, chant the holy name of the Lord,
Chant the holy name of the Lord.
hear Srimad Bhagavatam,
Hear Srimad Bhagavatam.
recite at Mathura,
Reside in Mathura
and worship the deity
and worship the deities
with faith
with faith
and veneration.
and veneration.
Further Lord Chaitanya said, these 5 limbs of devotional service are the best of all. In a slight performance of these 5 awakens love for Krishna. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction in devotional service are very, very detailed. But these 5 are described as most essential for spiritual advancement. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described these as the 5 limbs of devotional. Which is the first one? Sadhu Sangha. So Sadhu Sangha means association with saintly people. And association is very vital for us to make spiritual advancement. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj says, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Saya. Lava Mata Sadhasana Sarvasiddhiyaya. All the scriptures describe the importance of spiritual association. Even for Lava Matra. Anyone knows what is Lava Matra? 1/14 of 1 second. Even if you have spiritual association for 1/14 of 1 second, then spiritual life can start. In the scriptures, we read about the importance of the Sangha in many places. This is not the only word. In the fourth canto, you read about Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj performed greater charities. He of course had a purpose. He wanted to have a kingdom even greater than that of his great grandfather. But he performed austerities. The Lord was very pleased by his austerities. The Lord first manifested himself in Dhruva's heart, and then manifested himself in front of Dhruva. And the Lord said, Dhruva, ask me for any benediction that you want. Dhruva, of course, initially said, I was looking for broken glass, but now I found a diamond. In other words, he was thinking that if he gets a kingdom, opulent kingdom, that will give him pleasure. But now that he's seen the form of the Lord, it's given him such immense pleasure that he doesn't want anything else. But he says, mighty Lord, if you want to bless me, so that I may have the association of his honest devotees. A similar prayer was also offered by Prahlad Maharaj. He says, mighty Lord, you want to bless me, give me spiritual association. So Prabhupada established this International Society for Krishna Consciousness that gives us the opportunity to associate with devotees. If we associate with devotees, there's a good chance to remain on the right track. And especially in this age, where Maya is so strong, is Maya getting stronger or weaker? Maya getting stronger or weaker? Well, it's really stronger for devotees also. Maya wasn't getting stronger. No devotee would ever get that but Maya. So Maya is getting very strong. Just like now in your cell phone, smartphone. Of course, on the smartphone, you have positive aspects and negative aspects. The positive aspect is you can have darshan, or it's called needies. You can have all of Prabhupada's books in your pocket. Whoever dreamt that the day would come when you would be able to carry hundreds of Prabhupada's books in your pocket? Did anyone ever dream of that? But today you have a smartphone, Apple iPhone. You can put all of Prabhupada's books in your pocket. Majors we see when you're giving classes. And you put on a slok number. You don't even have to write it on the board anymore. Everyone has a smartphone. Let's have a pocket. They just pull it out. So, here are the positive aspects. But then there are also the negative aspects. You can watch pornography, you can watch obscene pictures, you can do so many obscene things. So, Maya is getting stronger. Wherever you go, there's a call for sense enjoyment. So spiritual association in this age is very, very, very important. You can associate with those who are more advanced, those those who are equally ones and those who are lesser ones. When you have the opportunity to associate with those who are more advanced, one should become joyful. When you have the opportunity, when you have to associate with those who are equally advanced, then make friendship. And when you have the opportunity to associate with those who are less advanced, then what do? Display compassion. So now the Muni explains how we relate with each other. When you meet somebody who is more advanced, you become joyful. Why? Because you're going to hear something that's going to help you progress on the spiritual path. When you meet somebody equally advanced, you make friendship. What does friendship in spiritual life mean? Friendship in spiritual life means you help each other to progress spiritually. And compassion means you endeavor to give the other person Krishna consciousness. That is true compassion. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphasized spiritual association and very, very important. And if you want spiritual association, it will lead to the second point, which is what? Namakirtan. The value of the holy name, the importance of the holy name, is best realized in the association.
Hare Krishna. So Maharaj is describing what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that there are 5 very important, valuable forms of bhakti. If we practice that, then we can make rapid advancement. So can we just recap what are the 5? First one he said was Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. Second one was Nam Sankirtan, chanting of Hare Krishna, Nam Sankirtan. Third is Bhagavad Shravan, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And fourth is Mathura Vas, living in a holy place, making your home like a temple. Yeah, he's giving lecture in Montreal, so he said, either Mathura or Montreal. We can say Mathura or Wellington. Mathura Vas. And last was Shraddhavan Sri Murti Seva, serving the deity, worshipping the deity. Deity worship. So Maharaj was elaborating on the first one, because I don't know how much time we have. If we have time, we'll do another segment, but we'll try to do at least one. So first one is of the 5, we said most important is the first one, which is Sadhu Sangha, associating with the devotees. Now what are the points he made in Sadhu Sangha?
So that if you are there, then you are more likely to actually progress spiritually.
Yes, we are with the association of devotees, we make rapid progress. And he quoted a verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kohe, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. That means in all the Shastras, it has been highlighted Sadhu Sangha, associating with the sadhus. And Lava Matra, Lava means, love is a unit of time. In Vedic science, it's 1/14th of a second, microsecond. It's a very small fraction of time. Even that much time, contact we have with the pure devotee, Sadhu Sangha. Sarva Siddhi Hoy, you get all perfection. And he gave the example of Dhruva Maharaj, Dhruva got the association of, who was his guru? Narada Muni. Narada Muni was his guru. And Narada Muni instructed him, he wanted a kingdom bigger than his father. In fact, he wanted a kingdom bigger than his great-grandfather, Brahma. He wanted a loka, bigger than Brahma Loka, he wanted his kingdom. Just to teach his stepmother a lesson. Because she insulted him. You can't sit on your father's lap. Okay, I'll show you. I'll go and get a kingdom bigger than even the great-grandfather Brahma. So that's why he was very angry. And he's looking for, and his mother said, God can give you this. Only God can fulfill your desire. Where you can find God? Must be in the forest because all the sadhus are hanging out there. That's why they like to be in there. God must be somewhere there. She had no clue actually. Just gave some direction. And she never thought 5-year-old boy will take it very seriously. But he just said, he left the palace. Searching for God. I want to get the boon. And teach the people a lesson. That was his main motivation. But then what happened? He met Narad Muni. Narad Muni tried to discourage him. Hey, beta, go home, play with the toys. Now is not time to do all this meditation, all that, searching for God. That's later. But Guru Maharaj said, no, if you can't help me find God, please step aside. Leave me alone, I'm going. Don't waste my time. He was very determined. That's why his name is Dhruva. Dhruva means determination. So then Narad Muni found that he is a suitable candidate for receiving bhakti. Suitable candidate. Timing is right. Candidate is right, time is right. Desha, Kala, Patra. All three are matching. Place, time and candidate. All are right time, right place, right person. So he gave the mantra to him. What mantra he gave him? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chanting that. And he started chanting. And his chanting became so absorbed in the chanting, he stopped eating. But a 5-year-old to not eat is not ordinary. Kalyan has a 5-year-old. They're hungry every hour. But Dhruva Maharaj, first he stopped eating. He ate alternate days. Cut down his eating to once a day, then alternate days, then once a week, once a month. Then cut down that also, only liquids. Then liquid also he did alternate days. Finally stopped liquid also, no water also. And finally breathing also, take one breath per day. And try to sustain himself. And then finally stop breathing also. Then the whole universe stopped breathing. And all the birds and trees and human beings and all the devatas, they found all, suddenly they all got asthma. They're all being puffs, what's happening, we can't breathe. No air, because air has stopped. Why air stopped? Because Dhruva Maharaj is breathing. He blocked the whole universal movement of air. That much power he had got. Siddhi. He got Siddhi, mystic power. Whole Brahmanda could not breathe because of his absorption in chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, chanting. So then Brahma, they all went to Brahma and said, please do something. Then Brahma prayed for Vishnu. Then Vishnu came down. Then he asked, Dhruva Maharaj, what do you want? He said, then Dhruva Maharaj, that's what Maharaj told. Right? Dhruva Maharaj felt very ashamed. No, I have called you all the way from Vaikuntha just to ask for a kingdom on earth, which is so insignificant. I'm really sorry. That's why he had a wonderful prayer. He said, I was looking for a broken piece of glass, but now I got a jewel, a diamond of your association. Imagine somebody gives you broken glass and says, this is diamond. That is fake. But now you're getting the real diamond, the asli cheese. Then you don't want a broken piece of glass anymore. So the kingdom he compared so tuchha, as insignificant, as a broken piece of glass. He got a realization. When the Lord touched him on the shanku on his head, the 5-year-old boy started offering such wonderful prayers. 5-year-old children don't offer wonderful prayers. They're not so knowledgeable. But Dhruva Maharaj became, instantly he was enlightened by Lord Vishnu. And he started offering wonderful prayers. And this is the most wonderful prayer where he said that I was looking for, he compared a kingdom to a broken piece. He gave the desire completely. He didn't want kingdom anymore. But the Lord said, no, you asked for it once, you're going to get it. So he gave him which planet did he get? Dhruva Nakshatra, pole star. And that Dhruva Nakshatra is special. Why is it special? It is fixed, it doesn't move like all other planets, grahas. Navagrahas all move, but Dhruva Nakshatra doesn't move. What else is special about Dhruva Nakshatra? It is fixed, always on the north side. And secondly, it does not get destroyed during Pralaya. When the Pralaya happens, the whole universe gets devastated, the Dhruva Nakshatra will not be touched. That is preserved. And not only that, it is not part, even though it's in the universe, it is part of the spiritual world. It's like an embassy. Like you have New Zealand embassy in Delhi. It's not really New Zealand, but that in the embassy grounds, Prabhupada explained, nice example, it's as good as New Zealand. They observe the New Zealand law there. Even though it's physically located in Chanakyapuri, in Delhi. But for all intents and purposes, it is actually a bit of New Zealand in India. Jurisdiction is like that. No? Similarly, the Dhruva Nakshatra, even though it's a spiritual planet, it's Vaikuntha planet, but it exists in the material world, it's spiritual. There's no birth and death. There's eternal life and never gets destroyed. So Dhruva Maharaj got that. He didn't get an ordinary kingdom like his father, or like his great-grandfather Brahma even. More than Brahmaloka is Dhruva Nakshatra. It's considered even more Shrestha. Among all the Navagraha, that is considered the topmost because it's a spiritual planet. So all this Dhruva Maharaj got, all his realization, knowledge, blessing, Dhruva Nakshatra, all that he got because of what? Sadhu Sangha. What a wonderful example. Wonderful example. Just the moment's association. Narad Muni gave the mantra and left because Narad Muni is very busy. He has to go preach to many people. Many people are waiting for him. There's Valmiki waiting, Dasuratnakar. There is sons of Kubera waiting, Nalakura, Manigriva. Narad Muni is there everywhere. Mrigari, the hunter, is waiting. But he has got many appointments to preach to many people. Chitraketu Maharaj, Narad Muni comes. He is like everywhere. Everywhere. So Narad Muni is a busy boy. He goes to Mathura, he goes to Dwarka. So he doesn't spend much time. So Lava Matras, short time association he got. But his perfection, spiritual perfection. So for us, we are blessed with the association of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has given us the association. Now Srila Prabhupada is not an ordinary person. This year is the 50th year of ISKCON. Prabhupada started ISKCON 50 years ago. And look how much it has grown. 650 temples already. Prabhupada established 108 temples in 11 years. 66 to 77. 11 years he established 108 temples. And then after that, since 1977 till now, we have got 650 such centers like this one. Of course, some are small, some are big, but still there. And not just in India, all over the world. And people are following from all walks of life. So that is by Sadhu Sangha. By potency of Sadhu Sangha, Prabhupada is able to give. Now Prabhupada is not with us physically, but he is there in the Murti form. We can take his association. He is there in the form of books that he gave us. By touching the books, by following his instructions, he is there. Guru has two forms of existence. One is called Vapu, one is called Vani. Vapu means physical association. When you are personally there, he is with you. That is not there now. But we have Vani. Vani means instruction, the teachings. That will outlive the person. The person may not be there physically alive, but his teachings will remain. So it's a Prabhupada will say, he lives forever in his instructions. He lives forever in his instructions. Vani is always there. And you can take advantage, like Maharaj was saying, on a smartphone you can carry the entire encyclopedia, books which normally would be very hard to carry, 50 kilos, you can carry that in one small smartphone. So you can get sadhu sangha on the phone, but also he said you can get nonsense also. Bad things can get so much unwanted things also. So Maya is very strong. He was saying that Maya can creep up in the phone also and teach you some nonsense things, something not desirable. But or if you want, you can have the pocket Vedas and Veda base and have all the knowledge in there. 80 books all in one small smartphone which you can carry in your pocket. So Sadhu Sangha, he said, was very powerful. What other points he made in Sadhu Sangha?
Various categories of devotees.
Yes, various categories of devotees. What are 3 categories?
Advanced, some at your level.
Advanced, equals, and
Low level.
and younger devotees, newer devotees. So 3 levels are in the Nectar of Instruction. Rupa Goswami also explains how we associate with devotees. We all know Sadhu Sangha is important. Now we realize that, but not all sadhus are on the same level. So we should know how to interact with each one properly so as to get the maximum benefit. If we don't interact properly, what happens? Either we don't get the benefit or we commit offense. We do aparadh. We don't know how to associate. So the association is broken up into Sadhu Sangha is again further divided into 3 categories. So he says the first category, actually I will give another definition this is my favorite definition, and we will go to the definition Maharaj gave. There are 3 categories of devotees. The first category of devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was once asked, how do you recognize a devotee? Now I want Sadhu Sangha. How do I identify a devotee? Because those days as ISKCON was not there, in the tilak and everybody wearing shikar, somewhere just ordinary dressed, They were not looking like devotees. They looked like just ordinary people. But they were actually great devotees. So how do you recognize a devotee? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave one definition. What is the definition? If in the crowd of people you hear one person saying Krishna, Rama, is chanting the name once at least once, that person is devotee. Very simple definition. You have people talk so much nonsense, but somebody says Krishna, somebody says Rama. This is useful. Hanuman also found a Vibhishan house in Lanka. He had Ram coming. Only one house. All other house parties are going on. Friday night, Saturday night, happy hours are going on everywhere. But in Vibhishan house he found Tulsi Mada, what do they call that? What do you call it in Tamil? Madam. At the house we have in our house Tulsi. In Kannada we call Tulsi Katte. We have that plant Tulsi in the house. He found Tulsi plant in his house and he found Ram sound coming. He is a devotee. So like that, anyone chants once the name of Rama, name of Krishna, name of Vishnu, name of Narayan, once also, Vishnu Sahasranam, once he said that he is a devotee. The next year again devotees asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how do you recognize a devotee? Second time they asked the same question. This time he gave a different answer. What did he say? He said, one who chants Krishna Nam once is a devotee, but a better devotee is one who is constantly chanting his name. He is a better devotee, more advanced devotee. Yeah? So we have to understand the level of the devotee so we can interact properly and get maximum benefit out of the devotee without disrespecting. We have to know how to give respect. Respect is given, but there are different degrees of respect. You respect your father in one way, you respect your children in another way, you respect your wife in another way. You can't behave with the wife and children and all the same way. It doesn't make sense. It is inappropriate. Similarly here also, in the Sadhu Sangha also we have categories. And we need to understand the category. It's important to understand the category. So the second category is one who's constantly chanting the holy name, the second category. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the third time he was asked, he said, no, there is still another category, yet another category, which is the highest category. And how do you recognize that category? First is chanting occasionally, second is chanting constantly, third is in whose association others start chanting. Not only this person is chanting continuously himself or herself, but he or she can make others, also induce others to start chanting. And that is called topmost devotee. So now we have got an understanding. There are three basic levels of devotees, Sadhu Sangha. And these Sadhu Sangha, we need to associate with them properly. So how did he say we should associate with these three categories? Are the children ready?
Yeah.
Okay, give us only 2 minutes. We are almost winding up here. 2-3 minutes we should be ready. So how do you associate with, this is the last question for the day. How do we associate with these three categories? The first category is called Kanishtadhikari, neophyte, new devotee. He just occasionally chants. How do you associate with that person? How do you interact?
Compassion.
He said compassion. You be kind to them, be friendly to them, be helpful, help them, try to help them. That's why the GOST program is there, to help devotees. Mataji is also doing it, Parjanya Prabhu. They also have New Lands, we have in Curtain Park, we have Ghar Ghar Gita, we have Lower Hut, we have in the city, in the Higher Taste, right in the CBD. So different programs are going on to give opportunity for interested people to come forward and take their association and try to learn, try to make progress, try to make advancement. That is the first category. You be friendly and compassionate to them and kind to them and helpful. The second category devotee, how do we interact with them? They are constantly chanting. That usually refers to devotees who are initiated, who have taken mantra, who have been, Guru Diksha has been given, they got initiation, they got Guru, formally initiated. How do you interact with them?
Friends.
We make friends with them. We treat them as friends and as equals, and we offer respect to them. When we see them, we offer respect. You can do pranam or you can do obeisances. Paying respect should be given. And we should also discuss Krishna Katha with them. We can ask them questions, you can discuss topics like we are doing now. This is at the second level. And then you meet the Uttamadhikari, the top level. How do you associate with them?
Follow them.
Follow the instruction, correct. Take instruction, ask for instruction. Please guide me, please instruct me. In front of them, we shouldn't try to show off our knowledge. You see, I know 18 chapters of Gita, I know 12 chapters. You know what? I know 15 chapters by heart. We shouldn't show off. We should rather be asking for more. Sanatana Goswami is a very great scholar. Rupa Goswami also, in Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic, he knew 3 or 4 languages and he was very great Pandit. But when he went in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how did he go? He went to the straw in his mouth. Straw mouth means, I am like an animal. And he fell at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, people call me great Pandit, but actually, I don't even know who I am. Why I am suffering in this world. I don't know anything. Please instruct me. Please tell me why I am bothered. So many problems I am facing. Actually, he is a great devotee, but he is taking this problem. Yes, Prabhu? Want to say something? No. So that is the proper etiquette, and that person you can accept as your guru. If you are inspired by him, by such a personality, he will become your guru. He or she can become your guru, spiritual master. He will become a disciple. And then you can offer arati, you can do puja, guru puja, arati, pada seva, pada puja you can do. All that can be done. Arati can be done for such a personality. And we should try to get as much knowledge as possible and blessing from them. Because then with that association we can make rapid progress. Very quickly we can progress. Because they are very empowered. Krishna Shakti. They got Krishna Shakti behind them. So that is the topmost association. So for our spiritual life we need all 3 levels. If you only associate with equals, what happens? You don't too friendly, too casual, we don't respect each other. Because some friendship is alright, but then we won't make progress. If you associate only with younger devotees, they'll all say, Prabhuji, you are so nice, Mataji, you are so great. And you say, oh, I will feel, this is nice. I feel very blissful now. But then there's no one is there to correct my mistakes. Who is going to correct me? Who is going to help me to come up and to the next level? I'm stuck here. I want to move. No one will tell me, hey, you are nonsense. You are doing this wrong. You are doing that wrong. You are not doing this properly. Your chanting is not good. Or your sadhana is not good. No one is there to correct me because I'm always with younger people. And they are always looking up to me. So I'm feeling very good. But that's not helping me. So I need equal association and I also need higher association who will teach me. But being only with seniors all the time is also not good because you are learning, but you are not giving it out. So that assimilation is not happening. So you need to get the knowledge and go out and give it to others. When you give it to others, your own stock increases. And then you're ready to receive more. But you keep on taking only, bombarding with knowledge, and that's not being applied, not being shared, that will also stagnate. So you can't have only that. We need all 3. That way, in the beginning we need, of course, to be nurtured. So we need to get the knowledge. Later on we get the knowledge, we also slowly start sharing. And sharing doesn't have to be very complex. I had one friend in Melbourne, one of my colleagues. He was very expert. He made so many devotees. Very new he became a devotee, and as soon as he started, he mainly made lots of devotees. On Saturday morning we would have 25, 30 all IT professionals in Mangalarti coming in 4 or 5 cars. It was wonderful it was. And I asked him, what is the secret? Just from Bombay. His name is Hemant. Recently he pinged me on Facebook. He said, hey, I'm in North Carolina. I got initiated. How are you? So I asked him, what is your secret? Tell me. What is the formula you're using? He said, my formula is very simple. I go and tell my friends, look at me. I'm from Bombay. I used to smoke, drink, do all nonsense. I stopped all that now. And I'm chanting Hare Krishna. You want to find out how? Come and see. People are surprised. This person used to drink. Friday means first thing he'll go to the bar. He's very big bhakta of the bar. And now he's given up that drinking, smoking. He's given up all that and this person has changed. I must go and see what it is. And like that he got people. He just said simple thing. Look at me, I've changed. You know why? You don't want to know why? Come here. Come to the Hare Krishna temple. I'll show you. And that is why he was following the 5 potent forms of devotional service. He got sadhu sangha, he got the benefit very quickly. So children are here, perfect timing. Thank you very much for joining us today. Special thanks to Jagjan Prabhu and Sudhay Mati. Thank you for. I'm sorry we have the lesser devotees today than normal. It happens up and down, but thank you, Hare Krishna. Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Gauritai ki jai. Here we are the Krishna kids.
His grace Vijay Gopikesh ki jai.